Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe. So today I want to talk about my new character. Okay, she's not that new, but I've been working on her for like last week, but I still wanted to talk about it because once I finished illustrating the character, I realized that she was not looking very African, but other than the skin tone, she looked more Asian than African because of her chin. Now, the reason why she got that chin is I will blame it on the content that I've been consuming lately, which is some Korean dramas. As you know, since 2020, there has been an influx of a lot of Korean dramas on our social media, and being an African, per se Kenyan, let me say being a Kenyan, I'm not immune to these things. So now I want to talk about that. So which Korean dramas have you watched that have gotten you thinking one or two, or rather, why is it that a majority of us prefer Korean dramas versus, like, let's say, any other dramas that are out there? Okay, so yeah, let me begin. The first series that I watched was when I think it's called When Life Gives You Tangerine, something like that. I have to check. I'm not sure. Let me just check. But the first one was that When Life Gives You Tangerine, something like that. I think. Let me search. When Life Gives You Tangerine. Let me see. Yeah, it's When Life Gives You Tangerine. But I think I watched it that last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But anyway, that's besides the point. It was among the first ones that I watched, and it was so funny. Like, the first episodes were so funny, and then in the middle it got so sad. And it's not the sadness where, oh, it's so sad, oh my goodness. No, it's the sadness of where you're crying, like you're wailing your eyes out. Until I watched like another one, and I was like, wait, there's something to how these guys are making their series, and the reason why right now it's flooded in the market. So I watched Divorce Insurance, and ironically I just saw a video clip on TikTok, and I went looking for it, and I was like, why not? And I watched it. And then before that, there's another one about, like, those guys really have good dramas. Like, when you watch it, and you just realize, like, the drama is so ingrained in their culture, in their representation, and in just different things. And I'm not only talking about Korean dramas, but I'm also talking about Chinese dramas, because I think I've had an experience on both. And eventually you start to realize, like, why don't we as Africans have our own? Because we tend to make everything into, like, depicting us the way we'd like to be depicted, but not how our culture really is, that really got me interested in talking about that, regardless of the fact that my character has the facial features of a Chinese girl or a Japanese girl. I confuse the Asian people, so let me just call her Asian. There's this thing with Squid Games. Personally, I have not watched Squid Games, not because of, like, either having a preference or not having a preference, but it's just, I just didn't like it. It's just a thing with Netflix, when they like start shooting something, it just loses its taste, especially season 2. So after season 1, I've not watched it, but even season 2, I'm not that interested in it. Ironically, When Life Gives You Tangerine was actually also produced by Netflix, and it's actually not that bad. Even Love Next Door, not that bad. Divorce Insurance, terrible. I wouldn't waste my time there. But there's another one that I'm forgetting the name. I got it from Telegram some time back. I don't know whether I can find it. It was actually interesting, but then, like, the first season is interesting, and then the other seasons, like, a repetition of what happened in the first season, and that's kind of like Netflix for you. It's just I don't know, there's just a way that series is produced by Netflix films nowadays, but that's a story for another day. Today I wanted to talk about the Korean dramas that have really become a thing in African sense. Now that's one thing. The second thing that I wanted to talk about in this regard, the second most important thing that I wanted to talk about was the male gaze. Like, there's just a way that now the Korean Chinese guys are being sold to us African women and all women, but let me speak for myself, as the new female gaze. Sorry, not male gaze, but female gaze, which means that this is the type of men that they want us to kind of fall in love with, admire, want to date, want to get married to. It's the same thing that they did with the European man. Like, for the longest time, all films were having this tall, white and chiseled boned, like sort of European centered men who were sold to women of the world. Like, this is the ideal husband by mainstream media. So now we find that now we are being sold the same idea, but of Korean Chinese men, Japanese men, by mainstream media. Like, they have, I said this in a post, I said it on another TikTok video, I posted it on even my status, and I want to say it again. Like, these guys, they have the height of what are they called? They have the height of a Sudanese guy. Like, they are so tall. Secondly, they have like the bold shoulders of a Western African man, and then they have the facial features of a black woman. It's so interesting. I feel like they were either made in a lab, or some genes, or just like mixed up with Africans. They just like, it's like the African, but with white hair, or whatever you want to call that. That's just how I find them. Like, tall as a Sudanese guy, broad as a Nigerian man, and then beautiful facial features as a black woman. Like, we're beautiful, so you know what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, you just wonder, like, why are we being sold this story? And I don't get it. Will there ever be a time when we'll have African men being sold to women all over the world, like the ideal man to marry and get with? Like, will there ever be a time when mainstream media will romanticize the African man? Like, will there ever be a time as a black woman I'm gonna watch something and it's not a handsome man beating his wife, or a handsome man being the butler to a white man, or a handsome black man being shown as a crook and a thief and a drug dealer? Like, the stories that we're given of black people is really disheartening compared to how now all this Korean content has come into the market and has flooded the market, and it's being sold to all of us. And dare I say, their content is actually really good. That's not why I'm making this video. It's actually really good, to a point where I can even illustrate something and have it looking like an Asian woman. It's just that as black people, I feel like there's a lot of things that we need to do for ourselves, because by the time we actually get to that point of making our own content that we love and sell to ourselves for ourselves, it's gonna take a minute. But that's just it. It was a whole rant, but apologies for it. But at the end of the day, I feel like it was necessary for me to discuss that, because the Korean content is gonna like be in our market for like another while, like probably for the next 50 years. And I just wonder, will we ever have that in Africa? I don't know whether we will, but at the end of the day, it's just a question to ask ourselves as black people. So thank you for listening to my rant, and see you next week as we talk about something, or rather I talk about something different. But thank you for watching, and subscribe. Bye.